Excellent. Okay, again, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Drew Mulvey. I'm a certified dietitian nutritionist in Connecticut. I'm a board certified nutrition specialist, and I am also a certified LEAP therapist, which is a nutritionist that helps decipher food sensitivity protocol for you based on an MRT food sensitivity test. I am actually doing that myself, and I've had great success with that. So one of my specialty areas obviously is women's health. I work with active women, particularly to balance hormones, to decrease gastrointestinal upset, and most importantly, to repair their relationship with food. I'm very much about the emotional connection to everything too. So that led me to incorporating this talk with breast cancer being the big hype right now. Soy is also the big hype right now as well. Soy has really gotten a bad rap, and so has some of the components that are in it. So I'm going to kind of unravel that a little bit today and debunk the myths that you might have heard. I'm going to give you a little bit of information from some of the studies that I was looking up too. And also I'm going to link everything together because mood is actually very important for your well-being, not only emotionally, but physically as well, because your thoughts can be one of the most pro-inflammatory things that can also be linked to cancer as well. I just wanted to say one of the most pro-inflammatory things that can cause some physiological distress in your body as well. So stress is stress nonetheless. So thank you so much again. Thank you, Lori, for joining today. Everybody on Instagram, Lori is a breast cancer survivor. She is amazing, and she is one of my favorite people. So I definitely love that she is here today. Okay, awesome. All right, so we are going to get started. So again, as I said, soy has gotten a bit of a bad rap just due to some of the studies have shown that it has a tendency to increase estrogen levels, and increased estrogen levels has been linked to cancer, particularly breast cancer. Now, is this something that we really have to worry about? Well, yes, because there's a lot of things that have soy in it, and a lot of studies have said to stay away from it. But in fact, I have found some studies that say that is actually beneficial for you. So with that, also, there are some other components of soy that's in it that could be potentially not so great for your body. If you do not consume it fermented or organic, specifically fermented, then it does have trypsin inhibitors, and trypsin helps to digest protein in your body. So you want to make sure that you get those fermented soys in you. It also has the potential to have goitrogens in them, which again, if that's fermented, the goitrogens are decreased, and goitrogens tend to attack your thyroid. So again, it depends on the type of soy that you're using. A lot of soy is usually in the form of soy protein isolate. There have been some studies out there that have actually shown that soy protein isolate can actually, get this, be beneficial for breast cancer. But we have to really pay attention to the source, because the soy protein isolate, I do have to say, is void of fiber, and it is also void of the main antioxidant that is anti-cancer in it, called genistein. So to have that put together, then that could be the potential to also increase estrogen levels and estrogenic properties. But that goes into my next point, is that a lot of the soy that we have in the United States is actually GMO soy. Much of it is actually, some of the most GMO crops are soy, corn, and wheat. Now, what this does is there is a DNA molecule that's inserted into it from cauliflower, and it makes it resistant to glyphosate, which is in Roundup. Now, glyphosate has been causing several other problems from the Roundup in people, such as being linked to cancer or even leaky gut. But the glyphosate can actually interact with the genistein that's in the soy and increases estrogenic properties, which is not good. And a lot of things that have soy in it could potentially be from that non-GMO soy, unless it is marked non-GMO. So again, the type of soy that you are ingesting is going to be super important to the benefits that you are going to reap from it. And actually, when I was looking deeper into this, because I myself, from all of the information that's out there, I thought that soy was going to be contributing A, to lowered thyroid function, and B, to cancer. And then I looked up on the Dana-Farber Institute that they actually recommend incorporating soy into your diet, whole food soy into your diet, to help prevent breast cancer. That's really interesting. So that really stood out to me, and that's why I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. Now, another thing that I was talking about is genistein. Soy is a great source of genistein, which is a potent anti-cancer compound. And it's also a very good source of phytoestrogens. Now, another thing that has gotten a bit of a bad rap is phytoestrogens. Yes, it does increase estrogen in the body, and it can actually be beneficial for those who are menopausal or beneficial for those who have lost their periods and need to increase their estrogen, but it does not increase the bad estrogen levels. It actually increases the good estrogen levels. And that's not only important for reproduction, it's also important for mood as well. So if estrogen is low, then your mood can sort of dip a little bit because it's important for the production of serotonin. Now, serotonin is your well-being neurotransmitter. So it's really important that we have foods that are going to be able to help to get that produced in our body. And women, we know this all very well, even if you are not in menopause, but during the time when it's the first day of our menses, we're moody. There's a reason behind that. When estrogen is low, then we get moody, as I was saying. And on the first day of your menses, your progesterone and your estrogen tend to drop. Now, that drops your serotonin production, and that also drops your dopamine production. And those are two very important neurotransmitters for mood. So again, there is a direct link between estrogen levels and your mood. So I do definitely recommend the phytoestrogens, including phytoestrogens into your diet, not only for cancer prevention, but for mood. These phytoestrogens, actually, here's a very, very interesting detail that I wanted to cover a little earlier. In accordance to mood, there are estrogen receptors on your brain. And these estrogen receptors are responsible for mood and focus. And when the correct estrogen actually binds to them, they can be anxiolytic and really help to increase mood. That's really interesting, isn't it? So if we don't have proper estrogen levels, here's an interesting thing also I do want to cover with that. So your body has different estrogen receptors. Your bones have some, your brain has some, each cell pretty much has some sort of estrogen receptor. And these estrogen receptors, some of them increase the estrogen around the area, some of them decrease. Two of them that increase it are the brain, and then obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but in your bones. So you need proper estrogen levels in order for your bones to be healthy. So if you have the healthy estrogen in there, it's going to help with your bone growth, and it's going to help with your brain power, and it's going to help with your mood. So estrogen is not necessarily a bad thing. Eating phytoestrogens is not necessarily a bad thing. I just do recommend that you do have them from a good source. I personally love wild yams, flax seeds, and they're also very high in fiber. Almonds are very good, chickpeas are very good, and herbs such as rosemary are excellent as a source of phytoestrogen. Now, also with the soy, it's a very good source of soy isoflavones, which is an antioxidant and again, another anti-cancer component. And soy is a great source of methionine, which helps with liver detoxification. Plus, it's a good source of fiber as well. So put the two together, and it's excellent for not only the second phase of liver detoxification to help to detoxify those hormones from your body, but it's also good for the third phase of liver detoxification, which is the elimination phase. And if you're not eliminating properly, then the toxins and the hormones tend to recirculate, and that's where you can get those increased estrogen levels. So it's really important that you do not get constipated and that you are regular. So if you're not drinking enough water, if you're not getting enough fiber, I would definitely start recommending that you incorporate these particular foods into your diet. And from there, what else I really like about soy and also about mood is it incorporates, I shouldn't say it incorporates, but it also has other mood boosting components in it. It's a great source of tryptophan, which is the precursor to serotonin, our well-being neurotransmitter, and melatonin as well. Melatonin is not only good for sleep, but it is also good for fighting cancer. So it's super important. So you kind of get like a double whammy there. Now, if you're not sleeping properly, that's going to be another stressor on your body that can potentially cause an elevation in inflammation, so to speak. So it's very important that you are getting sleep and important that you're getting tryptophan in there. Soy is also a very good source of vitamin B6, which is a cofactor in the conversion of 5-HTP to serotonin and melatonin. So that is very important that you have that in there. Vitamin B6 can actually, here's an interesting thing, that vitamin B6 can actually be depleted from birth control pills. So if you are on birth control pills, I do recommend taking some sort of a B complex, or you can even incorporate some whole food soy. So what kind of soy do I really emphasize that you have? I was saying fermented forms. So tempeh, tofu is really good. Those are normally the ones that I incorporate in. Organic whole food soy, so that would be edamame, that would be organic soybeans. If there is some sort of a protein powder that is from whole food soy, then I do recommend that, an organic soy. I do recommend actually soy milk. Soy milk can be very good for you, especially with the phytoestrogens. What I do recommend is that you incorporate a little bit of apple cider vinegar. This is what I've done before. I opened up my soy milk, put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there that ferments it a little bit, and it breaks up another component, phytic acid, which can inhibit the absorption of iron, calcium, and zinc, and it ferments it a little bit, so it makes it more digestible and it breaks up those trypsin inhibitors. It's a fun little fact. So you can have this in a soy latte. I usually make like a tempeh or a tofu scramble in the morning with a little bit of turmeric and those warming spices. Now that we're going into the fall, your body's actually craving those warming spices. And turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, black pepper, and nutmeg are actually adaptogenic spices, which helps your body to cope with the everyday external stressors. So very important that we are also addressing stress, and we are also addressing how we can put things into our body to A, keep us calm, B, elevate our mood, and C, help the body to actually prevent any cancer from developing. So I am pro soy. It just depends on the source again. And speaking of which, there is a protein powder that if you do like protein powders, I do recommend that is soy-based. I do have it right here. It's by Juice Plus. This is the one that I normally have. It's the Juice Plus Complete. This is from whole soy, cold washed soybeans, and it's from organic soybeans, very important. I also love this because there's an antioxidant component in it, and there's several other different foods that are in it, which is very beneficial for your gut microbes and diversifying them. That helps to make you more resilient to pathogens. And also it helps with your mood because about 95% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. So you want to make sure you're getting enough different varieties of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, foods in general, that you're diversifying that bacteria. I also love this because it is a good source of fiber. There's at least 8 grams of fiber in there as well to help with elimination and to help decrease the glycemic index too. So there's vanilla and there's chocolate. This is also my product of the month. So if you want to check out my newsletter, please DM me and I will add you to my newsletter list. So DM me with your email address. And as I had just said before, stress is very important in preventing cancer and also just for your mood in general. What stress does to your body is it actually shunts the production of progesterone and estrogen estrogen into cortisol. And then the cortisol, when that's elevated, it can actually act as an anti-inflammatory at the beginning. But then when it's chronically elevated, that's when it can lead to more chronic conditions. It can lead to lowered insulin sensitivity. That's where you start to get that tire around your midsection. It affects your brain. It basically starts eating up at your brain and causes a slew of problems if it stays elevated for too long. And then eventually your adrenal glands stop producing it, and that can be adrenal burnout, and that can be a problem because you can even get more inflamed that way. So it's very important that we do target stress. And that's what I talk about in my resilience challenge. So I'm going to be talking about my first day is reframing the mindset and really attacking that way of thinking. That's going to be the foundation of everything else that is going to come. So that's nutrition. I'm going to be covering nature. I'm going to be covering exercise. I am also a personal trainer, and exercise is very important, not only for mood, but it is one of the best anti-inflammatories, and natural anti-inflammatories and free anti-inflammatories. Let's just put it that way. It's also very beneficial for moving lymph through your body and blood flow. So that helps to get rid of those toxins and bind any sort of other things that need to get out of your body. So I really hope that if you tend to be a little bit more on the anxious side, if you are an overachiever, you're an active woman, you're hard on yourself, you feel like it's very hard to find time for you and you're constantly pouring into other people and you put yourself aside a lot, one thing I say to people is that you are the best investment that you can make, and that if you go down, then the whole ship goes down. So it's important that you're investing into yourself, and I'm going to give you the tools to be able to do that, to build not only physical resilience, but emotional resilience, mental resilience, and spiritual resilience. So if that sounds like you, my link to the resilience challenge is in my bio. I would love to have you in there. We're going to be targeting also how you deal with stress and how you cope with stress too. So super important. All of those things have to go together. Well, I believe that that is everything that I wanted to cover today. Just a little recap that soy can actually be a very good source of protein. It's actually, I did not cover that it's a source of all 20 amino acids. So it's considered a complete protein. I know a lot of people who are vegan, they try to couple things together to make a complete protein. That means that all essential amino acids are in it. Soy is actually a complete protein. So that's really beneficial as well, not only for muscle production, but also digestive enzymes. Anything that's an enzyme in your body is actually a protein. So you need protein for that. And then you need enough protein to be able to just even think properly too. So very important. The type of soy that you do get is going to be important to whether it is going to increase estrogen levels that are negative or estrogen levels that are positive. I do recommend getting fermented, organic, non-GMO soy, either tofu, tempeh, or organic whole soy, or as I was just covering, this is a great component to add as well. It's a great source of fiber to help with the elimination phase, to get toxins out of your body and hormones out of your body. It's a great source of methionine so that it helps with that phase 2 liver detoxification and getting out those hormones as well. It's a great source of tryptophan for the production of serotonin, and also B6 to turn 5-HTP into serotonin and melatonin, which helps you to sleep and increase that sense of well-being. So overall, everything interconnects. Also, phytoestrogens are very important to have into your diet too, especially if you want to balance out your hormones. I really like wild yams, flax seeds, almonds, chickpeas, and herbs such as rosemary. So if this sounds like that you would really benefit from the Resilience Challenge, or you are an active woman that has gastrointestinal issues, you're looking to balance your hormones, increase your stamina, or even lose weight, and more importantly, repair your relationship with food, I would really love to talk to you. I have had those experiences in my past too. I grew up with disordered eating patterns, and I was in bed with several health ailments for about half of my 20s. So I am here. I would love to help you. DM me if you are interested in working with me and we can set something up. Other than that, everybody, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Friday. If any of you have any other questions for me, please also feel free to DM me too, and I would love to answer them for you. All right, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for joining, and have a wonderful Friday as well. Take care. Bye-bye.